Alex and Richard kind of made a mistake inviting me here because I have two big issues converging that make it hard when I get a microphone. I'm a professor, we can talk all day, and I think you can figure out I'm African American. And coming out of the Black church tradition, this could go on for a long time. But they said I have only a few minutes, so I will do my best. I have these notes, but I really want to speak from the heart. I think in the 20th century, we did some remarkable work coming out of the Second World War. We saved the world, we saved the West, we gave opportunity to much of the world, we gave an example of the world's most fully functioning multi-ethnic democracy. Maybe we aren't that now. We thought we defeated communism, or we defeated fascism and Nazism, and by the end of the 20th century, we thought we had defeated communism, Antisemitism, but we hadn't taken a lot on, and we really hadn't defeated that much. We did victory laps in the 1940s, even though we recognized Israel. We did victory laps in the 80s and 90s with the color revolutions. We thought democracy and peace and freedom would spread. But the thing that we missed at the end of the 20th century is the factor that we're addressing now, and that was the rise of radical Islam. We didn't have the vocabulary yet. When the Iranian Revolution happened, it hit us hard because we didn't know what it really meant. Poor President Jimmy Carter did his best. But there was something, a gathering storm, that would come to define the first decades of the 21st century. 9/11, I often say, mugged the United States in history. And I mean that not as a criticism of the George W. Bush administration, because there were fine statesmen, Condoleezza Rice, Dick Cheney, Don Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, many others, who were ready to develop a grand strategy for the United States and the world, but all of the energy went to protecting the homeland, to fighting the global war on terror. But what we didn't understand is that the global war on terror was a symptom, not the problem, and that the problem was radical Islam. But you couldn't say it, so if you look at the government documents of that era and even beyond, it's global war on terror, never radical Islam, never Islamism, never Islamist. But that's what we're facing now. And October 7 hit me hard because it made me realize all that we had missed in the university world. We'd been fooling ourselves. The anti-Semitism that we see now isn't new, isn't more dramatic. It's been there for a long time. When I was being driven here, I thought, why am I in this fight? Why have I been doing it so long? And why do I keep going? And I think back to when I was 19, turning 20, starting my PhD at Harvard, having grown up in the Bay Area, never heard a word against Jews. That's a remarkable childhood. Then I got to Harvard. And after the third comment or so, being as quick as I was, I said, I'm on their side. And I've never looked back. That's what we need. We need more of it, not less. And I was able to, in my mind, dispel all of the binary opposites that I was being told then and since then. Blacks are against Jews, Jews are against Christians, Jews hate Arabs, Jews destroy Palestinians. All of these binary opposites are wrong. They're false. Democrats are better, Republicans are worse. All of these things have been used really to divide us, to destroy Israel, to hurt Jews, to demolish them in the world. And I just saw it differently because, as Leo Terrell said, all you have to do is study history. And the history of our nation is quite different than what K through 16 has been telling our young people. while we're focusing on disbanding trans policies in our schools, how many, aside from Leo, are taking anti-Semitism out of the textbooks, out of the classrooms, out of the teachers? It's a very long process. Because we did our victory laps around some of the big isms, but the one that really remains is Islamism. And you can't call it by its name. You can't really tell the truth without being maligned and called a troublemaker, which I actually like to be called. It's kind of fun, getting into good trouble. But when you think about it, we say it's the political left in the United States and in Europe that's leading anti-Semitism. And we talk about the European capitals and their leaders that want a Palestinian statehood recognized through the United Nations. But what about anti-Semitism on the right? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how powerful it is? Can we talk about the fact that the focus has been on the Middle East, but what's happening in the West is just as deadly, if not more, because it's better organized and it's anti-Semitism central. It's well-financed, and without it, those in the Middle East don't stand a chance. Those are the reasons that I'm here today, because we're just getting started. And it's always been my view as an adult that anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine in a society. And its twin is racism against African Americans. When those two things get going, there's a sickness in society that can't be beat. And the lies that we're told to divide blacks and Jews stop tonight. The lie that they tell us, thank you. The lie that they tell us that Sephardic Jews participated in the slave trade, they were the big slavers, not quite so. The lie that they tell us that blacks and Jews who worked together to transform America and hence the world in the 50s and 60s, that alliance called the Grand Alliance can never come back because it was rooted in social justice. Jews became rich, we did not. We focused on affirmative action. They focused on wealth and accomplishment. Not true. Social justice as an interpretation of the Hebrew Bible is reason enough to have a coalition of blacks and Jews, but there are many more reasons. Once we dispel the big lies, I think we have a powerful force. And I'd like to make the case that Jews really need us for the simple fact, and this is something that's been hard for me to believe, but I've been told many times, I've read it many times. There are no more than 15 to 20 million Jews on Earth. Is that true? In a world of 8.1 billion people, you kind of need black people because on the continent, we're growing fast and we're good fighters. We like a good fight. We're good people. Don't believe what they tell you. You need numbers. Sometimes you lose just because of numbers. But what's been remarkable about Israel, it defeats all of its adversaries, 7, 8, however many, in small numbers, and never asks anyone to fight for itself, just to support the effort. I'm here to say, you will win, we will win. This is about the West. It's not just about the future of Israel. I have a series going that's remarkable. Some of you will be there in November. If you want to come to beautiful Malibu, let me know. It's not the worst journey. We will win because we're unified, and the lies that have divided us are falling apart. There are more African Americans, more academics who stand with you because we now have an opening to do so. We have seen what the destruction is like. We know that this has to be fixed by pure victory, not partial victory. We haven't won wars in the West in a long time. This one has to work because we all fail if it doesn't. I have a lot more to say, but I think they want me to stop. And I'm trying to dispel another myth, that if you're African American and a professor, you will talk a long time. Thank you so much.